This is Minotaur. I'm going to play Sword of the Stars, the Pit, with not just gold, but the Pilgrim expansion as well, which does not appear on the title screen. And I'm going to be playing as the Striker on normal. I'm going to try to explain everything, just in case you're a total noob. Well, first of all, the Striker is a class with some really obvious drawbacks, and so she's not very popular, but on the other hand, she's like half dragon, half bird, which is kind of like how, Minotaur is half man and half bull. So that's kind of cool. She's also really big, and she, claws things. So yeah. Monsters are cool, so let's go with that. However, the whole thing where she goes through food really fast is kind of a big deal. The other thing is that this is exacerbated by the fact that she only moves one panel per turn, so she not only does she go through food faster, but in addition, that food consumption is doubled when you're just trying to walk from A to B. So basically, you want to minimize your backtracking and derping around, or else you're going to starve to death. Quite frankly, you might starve to death regardless, but we're going to do everything we can to try to lower the chances of that happening. And there's a lot you can do as far as that goes. So, first of all, I'm going to configure my weapons and stuff. Yeah. So, those are my psionic skills. Yes. Oh, a tree. Ice gems are actually even better for the classes that are big and use lots of food, even more than the other classes, because what they do is they cause you to stop requiring food for a set number of turns, and if you go through food faster, then that's more food that you save. So for a Striker, it's kind of, when you add the amount of food to the amount of food that it prevents you from having to eat, it's more like 100 food. And for other classes, it's the amount gained is less than that. Okay, so there are a bunch of rats here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my armor, because the rats are kind of derpy and they don't do much damage, but they do shred armor. So a lot of the monsters in the earlier floors are like that. So I'm just going to hit them with my claws, because I can.
Without breaking effect. Ow!
Okay, one thing you might notice is, if you're used to playing other classes, is that the experience bar is filling pretty quickly here. And that's because the Striker actually has, I think the highest experience gain rate. They're all a little different from each other. And
wisely.
to a large extent, the experience gain bonus offsets the penalty she gets for being, using a lot of food. So basically, that's that much less derping around doing random stuff that you have to do to attain the same level as someone else would. Okay, so as you can see, she doesn't get that many stat points or skill points per level. Kind of the lowest in the game in both categories, which is pretty lame, but she also starts with some really high scores. Okay, so food. Foraging is pretty mandatory. And, empathy and redaction I'm going to raise first. So redaction, eventually you can learn a skill that causes you to consume less food. which is really nice, but that's late game. It's hard to get there. And empathy, if I raise it a little bit more, I can learn side drain. And there's a low level redaction skill, heal. So if you side drain to pick up some psi, so you can cast heal, that takes 2 turns, and you'll restore like 40 health or something like that, which is a lot more efficient than just sitting there resting. You basically can't afford to rest, so you have to get your health back somehow. So redaction and empathy together is a pretty viable route for restoring health, and it's available pretty early.
1,000 to go.
Okay, so as you can see, the spear has a bit longer range than just the basic claw attack. So basically, I switch to the spear whenever I want to hit something that's not quite within claw range.
Why, you? Give my regards to the damned.
Okay, so I'm just exploring the whole floor. Usually you find a decent amount of food on the first floor. Wow, that's a lot of bunnies. If you're really lucky, they'll drop eggs. This is debatable whether I should do it or not, because there's a chance it might just derp around and run right back to me, but I'm going to shoot it.
Son of a...
Or not. Okay. Oh, okay. See, now I'm going to try it again. Pow! So I wasted some ammo. Okay, moldy bread, it's not the best, but it has its uses. Oh, a floor key. That's totally useless because there are no locked doors on floor 1, but thanks for the thought, I guess. Okay, whatever. Alright. So, as you can see, the green arrow, that's where the exit is. We already found it, but I backtracked because I figured that I was likely to find more food than I consumed in the process, which is kind of a pretty big consideration, honestly. Okay, so now I'm close enough to spear the bunny, so I'm going to do that. And more raw meat. So one thing about this game,
I'm getting claustrophobia in here.
is that it's a roguelike, which means that it's mean to you in every way possible. Like in a lot of games, like first-person shooters, you would just use your melee weapon all the time whenever you wanted to save durability, and hitting things with your fists is just like a troll thing that like nobody actually does. But in this game, durability is a really big deal, and your melee weapons will break down and break completely, and that's bad. So you just you just have to manage all of your resources, and durability of your weapons and armor is one of the resources out of many. Okay, so that crate looks pretty nice. It's a secure ammo crate, but I'm gonna cast license just in case, because basically when anything good happens in a roguelike, you should be really suspicious. In this game in particular, they're essentially mimics. They're called adaptoids in this game. I'm gonna use my lockpick. Yeah, okay, so it's a secure crate, which is not the best container in the world, but it's pretty good. It could have a weapon inside, or it might just have a bunch of ammo. In this case, it had a pretty good amount of ammo for a weapon that I don't have, but maybe I'll find one that uses it later. Okay. And it's a bunch of rats. Spear that one. This one's close enough so I can just claw it. Okay, oh no, not the spider. I cast fear on the spider.
Tear your mind
Yes,
apart.
good. I'm up in the range. Yeah, now I can just spear it. Good. The trouble with fear is that sometimes, I mean, there's a skill check that you have to make, and there's a random chance that it might fail. Then you have to wait for the cooldown before you can try again. And those spiders can clearly outrun my
Now
slow
was
butt,
dangerous.
so that's not good. And spiders, as you might imagine, are venomous. They can cause you to be poisoned, which is really bad. And it's actually I think level 5 poison, which at the very beginning of the game, before you've leveled up very much, is a substantial amount of health. You probably have to go through some of your healing items just to tank through the damage that you'll take.
I am ready to
Wow.
strike.
So many secure crates, and they're all legit so far. It's pretty amazing. Energy cells, those are really good for the striker, because not only is it ammo for her photoxis gun, they also recharge some of her other items, which I'll talk about later when I use them. But she has rechargeable items in her inventory that uses them. Okay, this is a door trap. This is the next thing Minotaur needs to talk about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all of my items on the ground except for one. And I want it to be something really derpy, because one of the door traps, what it does is it destroys items. Okay, I'll take my breaching charges, because those are kind of derpy. Breaching charges help you break down doors, but usually that's not even an issue until really, really late game. So, let's see if this is an item destruction trap. Okay, so what that door actually did is it induced madness, and because I'm insane, I now think that the door trap will be a teleport or a cleanser or all kinds of things, because I'm crazy and messed up in the head. But it's not true. I just have a case of madness, which is kind of stupid. But whatever. See, that bat's not real. But the good thing about madness is that it does not affect your decision making in any way. You still have total control. It's just you see things that aren't real. It's if we want to go back 15 or 20 years and think about movies, it's like A Beautiful Mind, starring the highly fictionalized version of John Nash. He's like, "Oh, you're not real, so you can be just like that." Yeah, so you just shout, "You're not real," and then you just sort of ignore that there are all these monsters running around trying to kill you. And, basically, yeah. They're like your imaginary Irish roommate, except they're space aliens who are trying to kill you. Yeah. Okay, so you can see, I'm sane again.
Behind every action there is a thought. A hardest work is never done.
Oh, I think I just messed up. I just gained way more experience than I meant to. Okay, so what's kind of bad is that if you level up twice at once, you basically aren't allowed to level up skills twice. You're only allowed to level them up once, as if you'd only leveled up once, and you just bank the extra skill points that you can spend some other time, so that's kind of dumb, but that's sort of how that stuff goes. Okay. Okay, so these little green robots are really annoying. I'm throwing all my stuff on the ground because I don't want to waste ammo on it. And the rule is that they can steal any item in your inventory except for whatever weapon you may have equipped. So if I have nothing but a spear, I can get the first hit this turn. And then I switch to the and the little jerk's running away. So now I'm going to pick up my laser thing, throw the spear on the ground. This will probably hit it, but... Okay, we killed it. Minotaur! Okay. I kind of hate those things. They're really trollish. I wish they weren't in the game. They just steal your crap. But what can you do? They're just one, just one of them by themselves isn't really that dangerous. It's not even a decision to make. It's pretty easy. But when we have a whole bunch of them, you could be in trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna throw all my stuff on the ground again. I'm gonna pick up my really derpy breaching charges. Wow, I've got 8 of them. And okay, the door trap supposedly lowered my speed, but the funny thing about being Striker is that you're already as slow as you're ever going to get. So, yay. Okay, a repair station. If I were any other class, I would take a few turns to try to repair this repair station, and then I'd restore a trivial amount of durability to probably my spear. Wow, they haven't even taken damage. But if I were just totally swimming in food, and I were some class that didn't eat as much, I would try to fix it anyway for the experience points, and blah blah blah. And that'd be all great and stuff, but it would take like 4 or 5 turns, and that's food. And that's the kind of thing that we can't derp around with. So, no derping around. I think I already been in there. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of annoying, but when you throw all your stuff on the ground, you have to reassign your equipment hotkeys again.
Without breaking a feather. Okay, so that's the 4. Okay, I forgot to level up earlier. So that double level up is going to set me back a little bit, but it's okay. It'll eventually even out, but it could take a while for that to happen. So empathy. One that's going to be hit the hardest is redaction, because I want to do that one every level. I pretty much don't want to skip any levels at all with that one, but now I'm in trouble. Right now these all cost 2. If you use that ability successfully to do something, then before your level up, then it will only cost 1. Could just bank all my skill points, but I do know that I'm eventually gonna level up War Mind, so let's put 1 point in there now and just leave it. Okay. And let's go down. Proteans. I hate those guys. I'm tempted to just shoot it with my lasers, but it's not really necessary. I'm gonna just throw all my stuff on the ground again. Try to lure it over to me, and there we go. Pick your enemies wisely.
I just heard something talking, something creepy. I forget what talks like that. I'm gonna feel really stupid when I see what it is, and I'm like, of course that's what it was.
Oh, I think it's like those, I know what it is. It's those creepy swamp things. That's what it is. So one of those are around somewhere. We'll see it before too long, but I'm not too concerned about that. What I might be concerned about is I think I hear a Jaeger tromping around. So let's see where everything is. Oh, maybe that was just the bat. Maybe it was just the bat. That little, whatever they're called. Not the lamprey hawk and not the night terror, but the other one. For some reason they tromp, even though they're just fine. You'd think they wouldn't really make much of a sound at all, except for maybe whooshing of wings, but they do make a lot of sound. Okay, so technically if I were really being super serious, I probably wouldn't have bothered with that console. Experience points are, I mean, are nice, but I don't know. The only thing is that I'm really trying to decode messages still, so I can collect them all. You know what? I don't like this floor. It's starting to get serious, so I don't think I want to risk walking through a door trap right now. At least not until the floor is clear.
Ow! I will kill you.
I don't know. Floor 3, maybe it's still not that dangerous, so I'll go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay. Increased speed. So now I can do what all the other classes take for granted. And I can actually move.
Ow!
It's not the trap that I was looking for. Okay, let's get a message.
Pathetic. I can do better.
Okay, lockpick cassette, that's pretty nice. Yeah, so that's just a level 1 poison. It's not the worst, but it's something. It'd be nice if I were to level up soon, because in this game, it's kind of hokey, but you do get the heal when you level up, which, to me, it's pretty immersion breaking, because it's like,
Now I'm angry.
real life,
Ow!
you don't instantly heal tons of damage as soon as you, you know, gain a certain amount of life experience. It's not like I'm slightly better at playing the piano, and oh look, my gaping chest wound healed itself. It doesn't work like that. And oh, I guess I was lucky. I didn't use my life sense. I was bad. I should have life sense to make sure this wasn't an adaptoid, but I was lucky. It's real. And even with lockpicks, I don't have a 99% chance. I still there's that worrying 15% chance that I'll fail here. Ah, Minotaur!
That was probably gonna be something good, like a shotgun or something. It's okay, but I can't have that happen too many times, or I might be screwed out of the late game. Okay, durability. That's still fairly high. I'm not gonna bother with the repair station. Tainted meat, though. What's kind of hilarious is that tainted meat actually is, has more food than ordinary meat. So, I don't know. But it's also diseased, which is kind of a bad thing. You can get disease from it. And, I don't really want to mess around with that right now. What do I want to do? I just need to level up. I think I'm just going to push on. I'm pretty close to leveling. And I might use one med patch if there are dangerous enemies when I enter the next floor. So let's go for it. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a dangerous enemy. It can berserk you. You lose control, you just keep attacking things. It's kind of bad. Just totally indiscriminately. You might even shoot food lockers, which I don't really want to do that. So, as I said, let's do the one med patch. I'm gonna try to make it afraid of me.
Surrender to
And
fear.
they resisted. I might still be okay, though. The spear, I use it mostly for range, but it also does slightly more damage. Like, I don't know. Feels like 15% more, maybe, on average.
I will kill
In
you for
practice.
that.
I took a wound there. Okay, so I'm not going to level up immediately because I want to be a little bit lower on health before I use that cheesy pull heal thing. So that's the thing about roguelikes. Like, in most other games, saving your level up to use your heal to heal more, it would just be kind of an exploit, be considered an exploit kind of cheesy and unnecessary. But roguelikes are usually actually balanced around you using every exploit that you have at your disposal. So they just make the game that much harder and incorporate these exploits into the game balance. And it's kind of, I think it's kind of cheesy.
Yes.
But whatever. You just know that that's the way it is, and that you're at a pretty big disadvantage if you don't do it. So, do I really want to face check this door trap? Yeah, sure. I have a level up heal. I could probably claw my way out of danger if it came down to it. So now I'm blind, which is kind of bad. I cast light
Behind
shades,
every action, there is a thought.
so that's good. There could theoretically be robots in this room, but I doubt it. I didn't hear any. I never saw any. I want to be outside of the room. That's why I just moved that way. Because I don't want to accidentally activate the trap a second time and have to wait through it a second time. That would be pretty bad. And that's the good thing about light
Give
shield.
my regards to the
I
damned.
can spear things that I can't even see because I know exactly where they are. Sounds like one of those little tiny maintenance robots or something. I'm not too concerned.
Now who's dangerous?
Okay, let's unequip the spear.
Ow!
Let's equip the spear again so we can.
Without breaking a feather.
Okay, more energy cells.
Ow! I must spread my pinions.
Okay, so at least two things will be all the same, but they're probably wimpy. Yeah, just a bunch of rats.
One down, 1,000 to go.
Yeah, so they barely even damaged me. I thought I was going to get to use my heal, but I still would feel guilty about using my heal this early. And it's a rat. Okay, maybe no more derping around. I'm in danger of losing my level up bonus, so let's do it. Okay. Wasn't as much danger as I thought it would be. It's like the experience you need to gain levels increases as you go through the game, so I actually had a lot longer to go. The first 2 or 3 level ups just fly by. Foraging, yes. Spear, no. Thing is, it's already about as good as it needs to be. And, good late game spears are pretty hard to come by. Sometimes I put a point in a lockpick here and there. I think I'll do that. Mechanical is nice, but the thing is, you have to get this up to 45 just by practicing first, or else you're just wasting skill points. So, yeah, let me explain that. In Sword of the Stars, the Pit, this is just another one of those things where you have to be intimately familiar with the arcane details of how things work, or else you're just shooting yourself in the foot and you're going to die, because you have to do everything right. Skills, whenever you use them, there's a chance that that skill will increase by 1. And that's the base skill level, the grade number. And, so that's cool. But this only happens all the way up to 45. So basically, you can level it up to 45 without ever spending a single one of your points that you gain each level. And you generally want to do that with skills whenever it's feasible to do so. So, yeah, most of your weapon skills, you want to just practice them. The only exception is really powerful weapons that have really rare ammo. It's just, you're just not going to have enough ammo to do that. But with melee weapons and mechanical is pretty common skill for interacting with objects. This one will get practice up to 45 in a reasonable amount of time. So that one I'm leaving alone. Melee, I'm tempted to put a point into that, but I think every 5 points of might you get this blue number increases by 1. That's your total melee skill. So I think I just want to increase melee by raising might, and maybe I'll randomly get an item that could randomly cause me to gain melee skill. So it's kind of useful, but I feel like most of the things that you would be hitting with your claws anyway aren't even that dangerous in the first place, and you would jump over to something that uses ammo. And you also can't equip any of the really good claws in the game. So there's just really no place for having melee higher than that. But the good news is it starts at 45, which is really good for the early game. So, yeah, I'll put a point to War Mind. Let's do that. And let's leave the rest alone. Resistance is kind of a decent choice. You only have to get this number up to 35 to learn, I think, Psi Armor at 35. Yeah. So that would be good. That would be a reasonable thing to do, but I don't think I'm going to. At higher difficulty levels, you might want to seriously consider that, because the monsters that can actually hurt you start spawning a lot faster and in much larger numbers. Alright. Why are you empty? Blue Harpy needs food badly. Seriously? Really? 2 empty freezers. Well, let's see if I can see what I can do with the cooker. Okay, so more arcane details about how stuff works. Basically, there's more subtlety to how you want to use cookers than it appears at first glance. Almost everything on here has a pretty decent failure chance. Like, for example, these antibiotics, 77%. So 23% of the time, I'd just be totally wasting everything that I put in there. So I'm not going to do that. Basically, the only two things that have a 99% chance are cooked meat and pungent meat. Everything else is more complicated. Pungent meat, I think I'll do one of those, maybe. What I'll show you right now, the recipe that I would really like to use, this one here. It's the Hero Sot Switch, which is a cooked meat. That's the most common thing to come by. Tarka Warbread, the striker starts out with 5 of those. That's a pretty big. It's a pretty big deal, and this is what you want to save it for most of the time. And Hyverges, and Hivers are these big sentient ants. And you kill the ants and you take their cheese. So hopefully I'll kill some Hivers and take their cheese, and then I can make this with the meat that's kind of the most common thing that drops. Like, a lot of animals drop that, like rats and bears. Warbread that I've already got, and occasionally they get dropped as well. Okay, and if for some reason I really have a really hard time getting Hiver cheese, then just the ordinary Sot Switch is an option, but this is not nearly as glamorous, and you don't get nearly as much bonus food for completing the recipe as you would for a Hero Sot Switch. Don't ask me how cookers work. Apparently extra food comes out of nowhere and injects itself into the food that you already put in, and it's like magic or something, but I don't know. Kind of silly. Maybe if you don't make a delicious enough recipe, you get indigestion, and stuff happens, and it passes without being fully absorbed into the body. I don't know. It's kind of gross to think about, but I guess that's a possibility. That would actually make sense. So, yeah. Alright, let's, I said I was going to do one pungent meat. That's all I can do right now. I only have the one, scent gland. Let's do that. 99% chance that it's going to work. So yeah, I could attempt something really cool like a bland witch. This takes two ingredients that could possibly disease you if you ate them raw, and then turns that in a raw meat into something that has significantly more food in that, but I need my skill level to rise a lot before I can do that. And the good news is that your biomed, which, or biotech, whatever it's called, your biotech level
Expect no less.
is actually guaranteed to increase every single time that you use a cooker. And that's really cool. Again, up to the cap of 45, so the gray number. So as you can see, the next 5, 6, 7, 8 times that I use a cooker, my biotech will increase. And then when it gets to 45, I can no longer get free levels of it. And that's why I'm doing these one at a time. If I just threw all 5 of my cooked meat in there and completed the recipe, I would only gain 1 point for doing that. But if I do it one at a time, I get the 1 point of biotech each time. So it's tedious, but that's the proper way to do it. At the earlier floors,
Definitely.
you want to do these really easy recipes, and you want to do it one at a time until you either run out of ingredients or until the cooker uses itself up and turns into a grimy, rusty, worn-out piece of junk. Or you do it, when the ingredients run out or when the cooker runs out. And this time, the cooker ran out. And then at later floors, I can attempt some of the harder recipes when I'm more likely to succeed, which will be nice. And this is especially vital when you're playing as a striker, because you don't want to take gambles on your food. You definitely need to use the nice recipes that give you a lot of extra food, but you definitely can't afford to screw up. Wow, another cooker. I'll take it.
Die, all of you.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I hear a gamer jumping around.
Me ancestors.
Some other robot-type things. Yeah. And that's what my armor is for. Armor versus ballistic is 100, which is pretty good. Against everything else, it would only be 30. And the durability is pretty low as far as armors go. But the good news is, if it gets hit by ballistic attacks, its armor counts as 100, and its durability gets worn down slower, and it prevents a lot more damage. So basically, you only want to equip this when you know something's going to be shooting guns at you. So I'm doing that now. Let's get the... Okay, the Photoxos is a pretty decent pistol weapon. It's one of the best weapons for the early game, and its ammo is fairly common. It's just a really good weapon. And it's pretty good at relatively long range. So I'm going to be over here, I think. Okay, so it went invisible, but I know where it is. So, basically, whatever button you have assigned, you hold that force fire button, which says, yes, I want to fire, even though there's supposedly nothing there. Come down and fire, and yeah, it would be doing like twice as much damage if I did not have my really cool armor on right now, so that's cool. And it's sort of running away, which is annoying. Let me think. I think I'm gonna just cook the cooker a bit more, maybe. Have I cooked all my meat already? Yeah. I could make one sot switch, but I don't think I'm desperate, so I'm not going to do that. Antibiotics?
Like, it's nice to have, but it's not the end of the world if I fail. I'm gonna hold off on that. I think I have other ways of dealing with the disease still. So, alright, I think while I'm thinking about it, I'll eat some food. Maybe, these shrooms. They are a recipe ingredient, but they go with raw meat, and then raw meat, too many other things you can do with raw meat, and then the steak and shrooms recipe is actually pretty difficult, so it's not very likely that I'll regret using those up just for the raw food. Let's figure out this biomod is. Oh, increases weapon durability. That's pretty cool. Either my Photoxos or my spear. I'm gonna need that, I think. The spear is not a great weapon, but it is one that I want to use as much as possible. So it's a tricky one. Photoxos, if it broke, I'd be in trouble unless I had a really good replacement. I don't know. A lot of times I run into trouble. It looks like I have a lot of energy cells, but a lot of times they just start running out around floor 18 or so for me. So maybe I don't necessarily want Photoxos to be the thing that I use a whole bunch. I really don't know if that was a good call. Photoxos is really a great weapon, but whatever.
I am brilliant.
Oh yeah, those rascally leperoids. We might see them sometime. They're pretty mean. Okay, so what I definitely don't want is to have my armor still equipped, because these little yellow guys tear them apart, and these proteans as well. I think the protean might be able to move and attack me in the same turn. And I don't want to waste ammo anyway, so let's just throw everything on the ground, because that's what all the cool kids do. And, I think I'll just wait for a turn. So that's something I don't understand. I mean, they have these acids that can like eat like through solid steel, but yeah, sure, slash at them with your bare hands, it won't hurt you. That's Kerberos Productions logic right there. I don't understand how it works sometimes, but it's still a fun game, so whatever. Okay. Minotaur.
Ow!
Little pup does respectable amount of
My
damage, but
regards to the damned.
I don't really feel like I should be using ammo on a Zolpup. Okay, so I think if I try to walk through the door, 1, 2, 3. It'll take 3 turns to walk through the door, and it could probably be in the doorway before then, because I think they move 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it would definitely be in the doorway before I could close it. So I am not going to try to run. I'm going to try to make it afraid of me.
Tear your mind apart.
So that's good. Let's walk up to it. Let's just throw the spear. Oh, I think I already damaged it earlier, that's why. Okay, I can hear robots. They're probably in this room to the right of me, so I'm not gonna just peek my head around the door like I have a death wish. I'm gonna put my ballistic armor on first.
Ow!
And there you go.
Security bot Mark 1. It's like the Mark 2, only crappier. Which, in turn, is like the Mark 3, only crappier. And so on, up till... Well, there are at least 3, for sure. I've gotten that far, but there might even be 4 or 5, I don't know. Anyway.
I must spread my pinions.
And these crates are all real. They're not adapt crates. Another biomod.
Joy.
Yeah. Okay. Where do I want to go? I think I want to go to that room up top, because I don't want to have... I'm not going to be able to backtrack later if I go any farther away now.
You surrender to fear.
And backtracking is just something that you cannot afford to do as RP. If you can at all avoid it. You wanna fight me, Scorpion? I mean, I usually like to keep the doors closed. It's whatever, it's pretty irrelevant. It's just a Scorpion. It'll make almost no difference either way. I think that having that door closed could potentially be a bigger deal. And I thought I could outrun... Oh, my armor's already unequipped, so that's fine. Okay. So these guys, they... kind of annoying. They might cause disease or something. I think I'm okay then.
Let the terror flow.
Specimen tag. So, I think there's some goofy mind control, aggro management things that are like recipes, and you need a specimen tag to use it. I don't actually have those recipes. I just saw someone else do it on the stream, and I could look it up on the internet somewhere. I don't think they've even updated the wiki yet, which is kind of annoying. But I could find out what specimen tags do. But, I don't know, I'll probably just drop it. Oh, wow. I walked into sight of that, but it chose not to attack. These turrets, they're like really random. Sometimes they attack, sometimes they don't. But it didn't attack, and it gave me a chance to run away. So that's nice. Okay, I'll probably just kill this turret with my gun, and then I'll probably be low enough on health to use my level up heal. Pow pow. Pow pow. I didn't do that much damage, but I'm gonna level up anyway. Okay. Side drain. Okay, that's cool. Protection. Ooh. Not this time. And let's keep putting the points into foraging, because it's used for a lot of stuff. Okay, food. Eat those mushrooms. Okay, those bananas are a recipe ingredient, but it's kind of... I don't usually find it a very useful one, and there are too many ingredients anyway. I could get disease from this fungi bar, but I'm going to risk it. And I was okay. Grubs. That's actually... It is a recipe ingredient, and it's one that might actually be worth pursuing later, as long as I have inventory space. Lobster cakes. 3 of those. Again, this is a recipe ingredient, but it's kind of a tricky one, and the ingredients are sort of rare, so I'll just go for it. And that'll keep me going for now.